Hi, I am so excited to be sharing with you how you can make your own soccer ball using some old pieces of a t-shirt, newspaper, plastic bags, and of course, scissors. To begin, I'm going to find the smallest pieces of paper and begin crumpling them up into a ball. This is what's going to be at the center of your homemade soccer ball. You can see an example of a ball sitting up right to the side of me. As I keep going, I'm going to make sure I make these pieces of paper as tight as possible in this ball shape. Once I'm done, I'm going to take a piece of my t-shirt, which happens to be the sleeve, and wrap it around the ball. This just helps hold everything into place and keep it nice and tight. While this step is optional, another way that you could help make your soccer ball bigger is by placing a piece of cardboard or a water bottle, just really anything that you could crumple up and put inside. So I want to move on to my bigger pieces of paper, as you can see, and I'm going to begin wrapping the ball, again trying to make it as tight as possible. I want to eliminate any air pockets that I might find, just so that way I have a solid soccer ball to be playing around with. Once I am done, I am again going to take the other piece of my t-shirt and wrap it around my ball, and again I'm trying to squeeze it and make it as tight as possible. Now that my ball is so much bigger, I won't be able to double it up, but I will just tuck in the little knot onto the side. Then I'm going to take my plastic bags and begin wrapping the outside of my ball. This first one was a little bit ripped, so I wasn't able to wrap it twice, but I just tucked in the side, trying to eliminate as many bumps as possible. Whatever bag you use last will be the outside cover of your soccer ball, so keep that in mind as you're layering your plastic bags. As you can see with this white bag, I've been able to layer it up, and I'm taking the handles and tying a small knot. I'm not trying to make it anything too big, but just something that holds it all together. Then I'm going to take my last bag and try to make the ball as smooth as possible on the outside. I want to eliminate as few little flyaway pieces of plastic as possible. This way it doesn't catch on anything while I'm playing with it. Then I'm going to tuck it all in and get ready to start wrapping my ball with some t-shirt yarn. This yarn was handmade from old t-shirts, and to begin, I'm just going to start wrapping the very center of my ball and tying it as tight as I possibly can without deforming the shape of my ball too much. Once when I am done with that and I know that it's right down the center, I'm going to take my string and wrap it around, making my ball into four pieces, I guess you could say. So once when I'm done with that, again, I'm going to tie another knot right at the top, and you'll see that my ball is divided into 4 equal parts. Now that I double checked it, made sure everything is good, I'm now going to add one more line to finish it off at the bottom of the ball. I'm just going to wrap it down through all of these pieces of string. That way it's going to be held together once when I tie the knot at the bottom, so my pieces aren't going loose. I am going to adjust my pieces at the end to make sure my ball is divided into 5 equal parts. I decided that I didn't want to continue weaving my ball through this, so I'm just going to speed up through this part where I'm not really sure what I'm doing. Once when I figure out what I'm doing, I tie the knot off at the bottom of the ball, and then I am going to use my scissors and cut it off. So now that I've had my ball divided into 5 equal parts, I'm going to take my string and tie it right in the middle of one of my strands. I'm going to make sure I pull this as tight as possible, again, because this is what is holding the outside of my ball all together. So once when I know that that is all tight, I might even add another knot in there if I'm feeling uneasy about it. I'm going to start weaving my piece of yarn or string or whatever you may have through all of my sections of the ball. As you can see, I'm wrapping it around once on each strand, and I'm just going all the way through the center of the ball to divide my ball into 2 equal halves. Now, this may take some time, and make sure to take your time going through this, because however you do this now is going to be the result of your soccer ball when it's all done. Once when I am done going through the center of my ball, I am going to start making triangles with the ball on one half, and I'll just begin weaving the string in between all of the sections of my ball to create essentially what would look like patches on the soccer ball. As you can see, to the finished ball on my side, there's some triangles, some squares. It's all a little bit different depending on how you do it. Now, this next step does take a little bit of time, so I will begin fast forwarding through it so I don't bore you too much. Now, if you pay close attention to this part of the video, you will notice that I try to stay on one half of the soccer ball as I weave through a specific triangular pattern. I try to work my way from the top to the bottom and connecting all of my triangles together. Not very often will I go over a piece of string. I try to keep all strings essentially going underneath of each other. That way they're being held down and holding the ball tied together. As you notice, I will try to tuck in any loose pieces of plastic to the best of my ability as I'm weaving through, and if I see any big patches, I try to weave my string back to where those are so that way I can go through. Most times I just go under the string once, but if I'm going straight across to another strand, I will wrap it around twice. Now I'm just going to make sure that I find all of those pieces that may be too big and may need a little help, so I'm just going to double check it, see that's all good, make sure it's molded into that ball shape before I tie it off, and then I will tie it off with 2 knots right at the end. And that's pretty much it, folks. Once one is tied off, I will cut off the string, and then the leftover t-shirt yarn can be used to patch up your ball as needed when you're playing with it. These balls were not made to last forever, but they're great fun to play with. So now I'm just going to cut off any loose pieces of string and plastic that may catch onto anything while I'm playing with it. And that's how you do it, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope that you guys have a lot of fun making your own soccer balls. As you can see, each ball comes out a little bit different, some bigger, some smaller, and each one's completely unique to you. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy making your own soccer ball.